change. It's something that will forever change me. Um, I was going through the motions of trying to save my company and help save the community, and I just was lost.
Well, I want to introduce Peter to you, who in this video, he's going to show us how he remembered that he can fly. Peter, thank you so much for joining us. I couldn't thank you more. I'm so excited to have this interview with you. And I want everybody to know this was Peter's idea. What was actually the real reason you wanted to do this interview together?
I think based on my introduction to you um, was based on other videos that you put out yourself. I thought, how more powerful could it be from one of your one of your students, one of the people that you have been working with, and I thought maybe it would help you as well as help others, to jump on board and really, kind of find out a little bit more about what you do, the amazing things that you do.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Actually, what is it that caused you to reach out? Do you remember what specifically was going on in your life at the time? I think we've been working together for now about a year plus a little bit more.
About that, yeah. Well, which comes tragedy comes opportunity, and uh, one of the largest hurricane hit my community and destroyed it completely. It was my company was on Fort Myers Beach, and it was devastated by Hurricane Ian. Um, we always watch it on TV, but until it really happens to you, it's a change. It's something that will forever change me. Um, I was going through the motions of trying to save my company and help save the community, and I just was lost. Wasn't sure where I was going. And when I came home, I tried to isolate myself because it was just so intense. And somehow you had connected with me through some sort of feed. I liked you, and then things started happening, and I really wasn't watching you, but I was more subconsciously listening to some of the videos that you had out there, and those videos started the things that you were talking about really started impacting me. Um, I'm a guy that doesn't rip off the band-aid and just do something. I really need to dive into it and figure out, is it for me? And after the devastation of the hurricane, I was in search of something. I just wasn't sure what it was. And you came along through my feed and through, again, somehow I connected with you through Facebook. And probably almost a year later after the hurricane is when I think I connected with you. And by the way, I had already been working with a life coach, a coach, more of a business coach, but that um, it sort of fizzled out based on the intensity that I had to focus on back, basically back on my company. I mean, we went from the largest company on Fort Myers Beach to the not really having a company. So it was definitely some changes to my life and impact, and so listening to some of the videos you had were starting to get to me, and I knew I needed some help. It's almost like PTSD. You don't know that you're affected until you really start to sit down and actually talk about it. And so I was very fortunate to connect with you. And when you probably remember, it took me a while. Even though we connected, I just didn't pull the trigger until the final day. I just said, that's it. I need to talk this out to somebody. And that's when you and I connected. And that's when my life changed.
Mm, I will never forget that first phone call. And then the second phone call, like you said, it took a while. And I don't want to make a generalization, but in my experience, Peter, and I want the audience to know, and this is just from my personal experience, I found that especially for men, I think it's really hard to ask for help as if like they had to admit in quotation mark or it's somehow shameful or anything like that. Would you like to say something about that, Peter?
Yeah. Look. we all think we're strong
And you
until
are, and you are.
we all are. I think we all are in our way. It's just sometimes things happen that, knock us back. Um, you know, that's one thing I can tell you that we have learned together is that no matter how hard I get knocked down, I just get right back up again. And yeah, it's sometimes it's difficult to, you know, talk to somebody, especially somebody within your sphere, because they're too close to you. You need to talk to somebody who's actually a trained professional and somebody who doesn't have skin in the game with you. I think now we have skin in the game because we've connected so well together, and your teachings have taught me so many things, that it's changed my life forever. The trajectory of my life will ever forever be changed, and to such a good place I couldn't even begin to express to you. Hopefully down the line, some of these more questions will expose some of that. But for me, I needed to talk to somebody. I knew it. I was in a deep dark place, and it's just I always believe there's signs and they're everywhere. You just got to be able to read them. And you were there for me over and over again, and that sign was there. And I just said, you know what? It's time. And really, I'm not kidding you. I remember driving in my car and I said, it's time. And then you had connected with me, and I remember calling you because I was still on, the beach looking at devastation, and trying this insurmountable hill that I never thought I could ever climb. And that's just a metaphor for how the beach was destroyed. It's I knew that I needed help to get over that hump or over that hill. So that's when I felt it was important to reach out to somebody, and you happened to be there. So thank God. All right.
You bring up such an important point, and I see this a lot too when, as you said, sometimes we ask our family or friends for help and we want to talk it out with them. And the truth is, yes, they're generous and kind and really amazing people, but they're not trained. So it's not fair to them to sometimes bring our baggage or questions, like you said, to people around us because, some of these issues are loaded and they can be challenging. And it's much easier when you have somebody that, just as a trained professional. And I remember the stories, and you mentioned the word PTSD, right? Post traumatic stress disorder. To watch your levels of evolution and transformation, it just gives me so much gratitude. Also, I wanted to ask you, what, if anything, caused you to maybe be hesitant or doubtful or be like, it's going to work for me? Was there anything like that there at the beginning?
I think now I had been searching for you for a very long time, or someone within, someone to talk to, because I had already started down a path in which I was diving into myself and really learning about myself. Some of it I didn't like. Looking myself in the mirror, I was a tough, shrewd businessman, cold-hearted. That's just not who I am. And diving into the things that we've dove into showed me why I was that cold-hearted, you know, I don't want to say non-caring because that's not the truth. Because the truth of the matter is I'm extremely caring. I just had too many I was too programmed, and I needed to get past that. So, we all hopefully want to strive to be better humans, better fathers, better husbands, better friends, and better business people. I just happen to want to be all of them at once. And in order to do that, it's a lot of hard work. Really looking at yourself and saying, I want to be better. I want to make changes, is not an easy thing to do. It really is not. It's challenging, but it's also rewarding at the same time. So hesitant. the hesitant was because of the traumatic things that I had gone through over the past few years prior to. But, I think some point 5 years prior to, I had already started down that path. And you know what? If the hurricane didn't happen, or the hurricanes, because there was multiple ones, I wouldn't be sitting here in front of you and working with you. Um, I had another path that I was following, and it was helping. It changed my life, but not the way that I have done the work I've done with you. It's just evolution. It's I mean, it's just it's unbelievable how far that I have come. Um, Sometimes it's just it's uh, I'm like, how did I get here? But again, a lot of hard work, a lot of sacrifice, and a lot of help from a trained individual like yourself.
Two things you mentioned that I so appreciate thoroughly. Number one, hard work. You're so right. It takes brutal honesty. It takes willingness. It takes commitment. It takes being willing to face, call it the shadow, call it the ego, whatever we call it. Be willing to face that, right? And to be willing to move through that. Thank you for explaining. It is hard work. This is not coping skills, breathing techniques. This is not just a little bit of fluff, close your eyes and meditate and, wish the problem. This is not what this is. As you said, Peter, this is a real good, close, hard look at looking at yourself. And the other thing you mentioned that I want people to really understand, so often the way we are, right, causes us to feel shame or blame or regret or guilt, as in, oh, I should be better, or why do I still have this awful habit? And the truth is, it doesn't warrant shame and blame. As you explained, Peter, this is programming. So many of these, let's call them unwanted habits, to throw them in one pot or pile, or whether it's anxiety or depression or self doubt, insecurity, it's a program that is running the show. And this is why the work with the subconscious is so important. And that's why this works. Yes, it's hard, but as you said, it's so rewarding because little by little, you peel away those layers, you get rid of those programs that are no longer serving you. They served you at one point, and a lot of people don't know. And that's what keeps them trapped in that shame and that guilt and that blame. I should this and I should that, where really what I do is I help people do what they say they're going to do.
Yeah.
And what surprised you most about our work?
How far back it goes, and where it starts, and how far you and I had to go back to find out really the root of the problem, maybe the root of the issue. And that was surprising. I didn't realize I was carrying that baggage for so long. Without getting into my personal life, um, I became somebody who just, like, if you're not going to do it, screw it. I'm going to do it better than you, and I'm going to, and I became that guy that just, I was a bull in a china shop. In fact, we talked about the hurricane, and the hurricane is a representation of who I was. I mean, I would walk into a room and like that, like a hurricane, and it's more than it. It actually, really, actually was defined who I was, growing up, and I was a top athlete. I hate to lose. I mean, obviously, after the biggest hurricane, I'm still here with my company, and I'm sitting in my home office because I'm semi-retired now. And I got there because of the things that held me, that really, that I learned about myself, and we've learned together, are what got me here. But it got me so far. And really, the teachings that we've learned, and the work that we've done, and the clutter that had been moved around, and the program that has been changed, or at least understood, has made me really learn that, you know that a lot of it was inside of me, and it was learned behavior. I was programmed. And the shocking part of it was that you just don't know. And until you're working with somebody like yourself, and uncovering these, the clutter, the things that are holding me back, the things that drove me, were things that were working against me. Now I've got so much control of it that it's it's made me so more powerful in my own self. I'm not, I'm a more I'm a more calculated business person. I'm a hell of a better husband, a father. My friends are, they don't even, they've said to me, I don't even know who you are anymore. That's the change in which that has that I've transformed into. I'm no longer the Tasmanian devil that walked into the room. I'm actually the quiet guy, listening, calculating, understanding. I always say, I kept saying, and you've said it to you, I wish I would have learned this a long time ago, but you've said to me, you learned it when you were ready. And unfortunately, a catastrophic event like a hurricane was what really shook me. I'm so much looking forward to the second half of my life because my relationships, my friendships have blossomed and grown so much. My work has, again, being semi-retired now, this only happened within the past few months. Um, it was a little bit of a shakeup to me, but I don't think I could have handled it if I didn't work, if I had been working with you over the past 12 months or so, because I would just, I'm so used to flight or fight mode. I'm so used to chaos, because that's in which I worked within. Think about it, I mean, after a hurricane and after trying to rebuild a community, I mean, my whole life was you know, just trying to keep it together. Now it's like, it's just so easy to make decisions and not have to worry about what the next problem is going to be because those are already solved. So also too, I want to make it is that the calmness of who I become, the person who I become have really changed the game for everyone because my work, the work that I'm starting to do now, the that are helping rebuild my community further. It really is an active part of my kindness, the things that I've learned about, who I want to be and who I'm now become. It's just I just can't begin to tell you how many good things that have happened throughout the process. But hopefully that explains to you guys how far back this goes. And most of it is in our childhood. I believe that I'm positive because now when I talk to people and I look at them and I'm asking them three questions, I already know it's something that happened way back when they were a child and they've carried it with them their whole life. Sorry, I was a little long-winded, but
So many people are still in that fight, flight, survival mode without actually realizing it because it has become so familiar and so
yeah,
quote unquote normal, right? And now that you're on the other side, Peter, you can identify it so easily and you can recognize it in others because there's a resonance about that. So, again, I appreciate you highlighting that because that too, it's hard to identify when a person is stuck in that fight flight, and like you said, it goes way back, so we carry that baggage through the years, and that kind of runs our life and it often ruins our potential, right?
it
I
does.
also want to point out something really important, and you probably know this by now too, Peter. It's not something I say or I do to or for my clients or with my, it's actually we find the answers inside of you. How many
Sure.
times have we gotten to this breakthrough and you literally had the epiphany, the insight? It came from you. So I want you to know that every single human being, you have the answers inside of you. As it says in the Bible, the kingdom of God is within you. And that is so accurate. And again, that's why this work is so powerful because it's not my coach said and my mentor wants me to. No, it comes from inside. And I think that is phenomenal moments happen throughout because of that.
Yeah, I agree.
So, um, last thing, we're gonna probably do another interview another time, but for today, is there anything on a last note, so to speak, that I didn't ask or that you still would like to share, or any like last, famous last words?
Yeah, there was something that just happened yesterday, and it's a frustration. Maybe we'll talk about this our next session. And it's people still thinking that you are still that individual. And no matter what you do, they continue to blame you for it. It's interesting. Um, because it's come some like yesterday, what happened came out of left field. I handled it with grace and glory. I really did. You would have been proud of me. I really handled it well. Um, but it still has bothered me since yesterday. And the reason being is because this particular individual has seen my growth, but yet is willing to blame me for something that it's truly not even true. And the fact that I have to actually uh, explain myself, not just in detail, but further than detail, is frustrating. And so the work that we do will continue for a very long time. And I will probably be with you, Susan, forever. I hate to say you're stuck with me. And
We
the
stuck with
thing,
you.
yeah, and the thing is, though, is that as I said, continuing to grow, and I'm going to get through it. And I think I have the answer. But it's just interesting to see where it's actually not even it's not even me. It's the individual who has some issues that I now have uncovered and seen. And so it just it just goes to show that we all carry carry these things that are going on in our lives. We carry them no matter what. You wouldn't be human if you didn't. How we process them is another thing. And without talking to somebody, it's very difficult to process on your own. It really is. And it's not like it's a therapy where I unleash everything to you. We actually strategically work on things to get through that, whatever that issue may be. Um, and again, it's hard work. Sometimes, and especially in the beginning, it is you. You're the you're the issue. And as you grow, you become less the issue. Um, and it just seems to be that now you start to see everybody else for who they are and some of the baggage that they carry. It's very interesting. So again, this is continued hard work, um, especially if you have a goal like mine, which you know me, I don't like to lose. So I'm going to continue to grow and hopefully maybe, change some lives along the way. And I'm doing it just within my sphere. It's just awesome to see. And I want to thank you very much for your help. It's been awesome.
Thank you. And what's funny about Peter is he keeps saying this is really hard work, but he always shows up with a smile.
Why not
And I
though, right?
love that.
Or 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 hats or things that would make you laugh. It's
Oh
you know,
dear. I didn't want
it,
to disclose any of that information.
well, I always want the meeting to start off. It's always got to start off right, right? No matter what we're gonna do.
And it does.
I will say one last thing, and I can put be prepared to do a lot of crying, a lot of emotion coming out of you. It is healing. It is very much healing because I did a lot of it, a lot of crying, a lot of stuff on my own. Because it's like you go on your own and you start to think about it, and it's like, holy smokes, and it just hits you with a ton of bricks, and it starts to make sense. All the dots start to connect together. Um, And again, hard work and having the right leader or instructor to help you get there is extremely important. So I will forever be thankful, and I will be with you forever.
Thank you, Peter. What you just said, I think, thank you for that because for somebody listening, watching, I think it might give them a lot of comfort and it actually might give them permission to, you know what, it's okay to ask for help. Not only is it okay, maybe it's necessary.
Yeah.
And we hold on to so much and without realizing. So, really, thank you for saying that.
Yep.
Very courageous of you. And yeah. So we're going to meet again. Thank you,
Okay.
everybody, for being with us. And Peter, if anybody wants to reach out, would you like to leave some kind of contact information? Just if they're curious or
If anybody wants to reach me, they can email me at peter at askagentalbert.com. That's Peter at the at sign, ask, AskAgentalbert.com. More than happy to if you had some questions. Uh, I get it because sometimes you just don't want to take somebody's word for it. You want to ask a little bit further questions, and it would be my honor to answer any questions about Susan. It's just I couldn't it's almost like I have to give back because it seems I've gotten so much out of it. I'd like to get that back. So anybody who has any questions, feel free to email me.
thank you. Thank you for your precious time. I really
Okay.
appreciate you. And we'll meet again.
Sounds great. Look forward to it.
Take care, everybody.
Bye.
Bye bye.